representative for the Silicon Flatiron Center. And I'm going to introduce the moderators, say a few things about Entrepreneurs Unplugged, and then we'll get going. I'll introduce Nancy and turn it over to the moderators, Brad and Jill. Co-moderating tonight are Jill Van Maitre, who is the Associate Director here at Atlas. Has been a terrific partner. I think we've done Entrepreneurs Unplugged here now for 3 years, and truly feel lucky to be partnering with Atlas in terms of entrepreneurship across campus. And Brad Feld, who is a national leading venture capitalist, managing director with Foundry Group, author of Do More, Faster Venture Deals, although there's no copies here tonight to be sold. This is the last installment of the Entrepreneurs Unplugged series for the fall. We do this on about a monthly basis by way of coming attractions. During the spring semester, we're going to have Jim Franklin, who's CEO of SendGrid, and Charlie Ergen, who is the founder of EchoStar and now chairman of Dish Networks, as part of the spring lineup, so look forward to that. This is a series that I call Entrepreneurial Storytelling with a Point. This is the 3rd year we've done it. It's been a ton of fun. With that, let me introduce Nancy Phillips, who holds an honors and bachelor in economics from Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. She began her career with Teleconferencing Systems Canada as a vice president of sales, and there she met Roy Dimoff, and the two have been loyal business partners ever since. You'll hear more about that in connection with the current company. She was Vice President of Operations for ITC Worldwide, which is now Genesis Conferencing, and Senior VP of Operations for Confortech International, now Global Crossing. She's also been a principal, executive, and consultant for numerous successful telecom companies, including France Telecom, MCI, and Quest. Before starting ViaWest, she was Vice President of Operations for RMI.net, where she managed the company's network and technical growth and helped this ISP back to profitability. In 1999, she co-founded ViaWest, where she's now Chief Operating Officer. ViaWest is a leading co-location and managed services provider well known to many companies in Colorado. If you think about 1999 to today, they've managed a few storms and cycles in the economy. And this is kind of a risky thing to do, but I'm just wondering, how many of you are at companies that have a relationship with ViaWest, either as a customer or they are a customer of you? Just out of curiosity. That's pretty good. So there's some sales possibility in here.
Free hosting for everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad.
She, in 2010,
at the Feld Data Center, which doesn't exist.
She's received several awards, including in 2010, the CSIA's prestigious Bob Newman Lifetime Achievement Award. She's been named Denver Business Journal's Outstanding Woman in Business in the High Tech category and recognized by the Denver chapter of the National Association of Women Business Owners and the Denver Business Journal, winning the Outstanding Woman in Business Jean Yancey Award as well. She also serves on something here which, if you're not aware of, you should follow up on. She's on NCWIT's board. That's the National Center for Women in Technology, which is led by Lucy Sanders. Brad is also a fellow board member with that, and Jill's also involved with NCWIT. So if you want to learn a little bit more afterwards and ask about that, please help me welcome Nancy Phillips.
The most difficult times actually are ones you should never abandon. I don't think we've ever run the business of a great, that's behind us, nothing to worry about, let's put it on cruise control and just grow the business accordingly. We changed our business practices a little bit. We became much tighter in our acquisition strategies and locked down and turned into a very disciplined process of 120 days to integrate companies. And so that discipline, I think, was key to continued bottom line performance and improvement, and allowed us, upon integration, to really start to leverage those companies in terms of the sales process we interjected. And those were critical elements in terms of our success in the early or the mid-2000s. We really had to integrate effectively, start to leverage, and start to see the uptick in terms of the performance of those assets. Other things that we learned in the mid-2000s is we had to continue to evolve the platform, be very strong in terms of listening to the customer demand. One of the interesting things I think about in terms of the whole social networking activities today, I think it allows you to get closer to your customers. And I would have to say, one of the areas that I think we've done abundantly well is we've not really listened to industry reports like Gartner or Tier 1 Research, for those guys who know our industry very well. I have visited so many data centers in that early 2000 phase that listened to Gartner and pre-built out data centers. So can you imagine walking into these things and they have 100 cabinets and they have 10 by 10 cages, one after the other, because someone said that that's the way all customers will come to you. Well, the reality is, you go to a data center and it's all shapes and sizes. I want a 200 square foot cage. I need 1,000. I need a half a cabinet. I need a full cabinet. And so we've been very responsive and customized to our customers' needs. So what do you need? What do you want? How can I please you and support you? And it always comes back a little bit different. And so I think that's something that we did really, really well in terms of discerning ourselves. We also took advantage of the larger companies out there that built data centers all across the country. The amount of supply that was out there in that 2003, 4, and 5 range was phenomenal. Companies that had raised hundreds, billions of dollars in capital that built data centers. And then they went out of business. And so they didn't survive the nuclear winter. We survived by being in the right place at the right time. Because I remember we picked up a Verano. Does anybody know who Verano is? It was a well-invested data center company in Colorado. I'm not sure the investors would like me to say who they were, but
well, my partner Seth was.
There you go.
He would happily be named as being involved in it. So Verado came out of First World, and Seth was like the number 3 employee of First World, and so he likes to say how his job for the first half of his time at First World was to acquire a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
His job for the second half of his time was to sell it all off to prevent it from going out of business.
Yeah. So we picked up some of these assets for pennies on the dollar. I mean, literally, and that was pivotal because we raised just a fraction of capital comparatively to many of these large data center companies. And so because we rode out the difficult times, we were able to deploy and pick up these assets for nothing that, quite frankly, helped us in terms of capacity available to be able to go out and sell within these assets we picked up. But I do remember the debates at the board level around spending pennies on the dollar. Should we really spend $1 million? Now it seems, and literally these assets were worth $20 million. And so I remember the heated debate of risk. How risky was it going to be to go and buy a 15,000 or 20,000 square foot facility? And could we fill it? And that was a pivotal moment when we bought that. It really launched us. And I think it was the confidence around our ability to go one customer at a time and fill that up.
So I just got back from the Grace Hopper celebration of women in computing, which was 3,000 women in Portland. And I don't want to miss the opportunity with both you and Brad being members of the NCWIT board to talk about your career trajectory as a technical woman, and in 2 pieces. The first being that you didn't start as a technical woman. And so I wonder what that looked like and how you got the skills and the confidence in the technical knowledge without having that background, and whether that's something that you think was a function of the time or if women could still do that today.
I think you can. I think people can transform themselves. I mean, if I'd been given the opportunity to be introduced to some of the opportunities in technology, maybe I would have found my path sooner. I can't even imagine being in any other space, though. And so, yeah, was it hard? Did I have to go educate myself? Did I have to be, did I really have to dig in and master things? Absolutely. But it's been a tremendous amount of fun. I lead, hundreds of technical professionals today. At the forefront of it is I'm not trying to be the expert in any of these fields, but that I'm able to articulate the vision for the organization, help support innovation and creativity amongst those individuals, and bring the very best out of those individuals so they delight our customers. I mean, I think that's the key. And I think also my background lends itself, it's not a traditional technology background, so I bring a different sense of vision around what it means to service the customer. At the heart of it, we've never really seen ourselves as much as a technology company as a service company. And actually, when we went to get our first Series B round, we completely gravitated to service-based investors, not technology investors, because we really believe at the heart of what we do is service and support the organizations that we're fortunate enough to do business with.
Would it be fair to make the statement that there were probably plenty of times where you were the only woman in the room?
Most days. And unfortunately, still the only woman in the room.
Have the dynamics around that changed at all over the last 10 or 20 years?
I don't think so. I really don't, which is unfortunate. I would love to say that the percentage of women I see at conferences has increased. It hasn't. I mean, we are still out there as the clear minority, and that troubles me. You know, there's a whole lot of reasons why women should get involved in technology. Number one, it is one of the most dynamic, interesting, just motivational areas to be involved in. It's never a dull moment. I mean, it just never stops. And I can't say that about a lot of other industries. Number two, there's no reason why they can't be phenomenal. And I think innovation will only be at its very best when men and women work together in innovation, in the technology space. We need to have that type of teaming, that type of, it's empirically proven and anecdotally proven that you get a better outcome, a better product, a better service when men and women are teamed together to create it. And so it just is good business sense too. We've created I work personally with a lot of the female engineers that we bring into ViaWest because I want to nurture their relationship there. I want them to feel like they can go to somebody and talk to them and get some feedback and maybe just somebody to listen to because they're a minority at ViaWest. It's very hard to find female engineers to come